blessed and fantastic day. I've been going all morning here, getting all these things taken care of. Bunch of business meetings. Want to make sure everything is logging on here. People be able to log on. Want to give a big old shout out to my man Gerardo. I've known Gerardo for over 10 years. I actually wrote some notes today. There's so much stuff going on. I don't want to forget anything. Hi Georgia, what's up Matthew? Good to see you guys. Happy Friday. Back in the day, right Georgia? Back in the day, Matthew, it was all about TGIF, Jared. But today it's about living our purpose, living our truth, being impeccable with our words, not taking anything personally, never make assumptions, and every day, always do your best. And that's the secret to life right there, brother. Good to see you. Thank you for logging on, brother. Always a pleasure to roll with you guys, man. One of the things I wrote down here was proximity is power. You guys saw my post the other day with the nickel and the dime that says sometimes you have to shrink our circle, but we increase its value. And ultimately, that's where we are today. So I can see you guys logging. I can see this thing is working. Thank you first and foremost. Day 52 of 366, 29th of February. For you guys that don't know it, this is going to be a leap year. We're giving you one bonus day this year. Go out and make that count. I'm going to challenge you to do something with your family because we're always doing stuff about business and this over here. No, do something with your family or somebody that you haven't reached out to. Make that day of 29th. Reach out to them. Hey, it's leap year. Every 4 years, I wanted to call you, man. I wanted to call you, girl, and reach out to those people. Because ultimately, time is short. So I wanted to come to you guys today and give a big old shout out to Gerardo Toffolo. As you guys can see yesterday, Rise as One, The Spiritual Awakening. The book was launched on Amazon. I am over the top excited. I know Gerardo, when I first talked about this, he was like, you got to write a book. I was telling him about the mission, the Rise as One movement. I had this vision, we'll hike up to the top of the mountain, and all these things were going on. He says, Joe, you got to write a book and talk about the experience. If you look at the top of this corner of this book there, you can see those hands in the clouds. So when you read the story, when you get this book from Amazon, you can see the poster behind me, those two hands, that was being guided. And ultimately, we're all being guided. Until we understand this, we will continue to go around, blame and complain, play small, and not living our purpose today. So I wanted to come to you today and speak nothing about Gerardo today, how we met, the 10-year journey that we've been on. So I wrote a couple of notes here like I was saying. So I met Gerardo 10 years ago. I went to a real estate investors course down in New York City. I found his ad online. Gerardo's a badass at marketing. He's a mortgage guy back in the day, loan officer of the year. He had a TV show, a radio show. He was doing everything, possibly under the sun. I got a whole list I'll read to you here. But I signed up for his real estate course online because I was ready to learn about real estate. I was tired of being in corporate America. I was feeling the pain in my gut from not living my truth and dealing with all the lies and the cheats and deception from a lot of these corporations. The guys that are in corporations out there and run corporations, maybe this is not you, but the one I was in, they were lying to me. And as you guys can tell by now, at day 52, I don't hang with people that lie, cheat, and steal. I can't do that. It's not me. That's not my purpose. I was telling Gerard not so long ago, I said I have to come from and get around people with soul. Whoever's operating from soul is the people I want to be around. That's how we're going to go ahead and rise as one. You can't be around phonies, fakes, and that's what I'm saying. You got to shrink your circle. That's what we're going to have to do. Maybe the people that are there are the right ones that are going to be there. So me and Gerard met 10 years ago. So he's a world-class mortgage expert, loan officer of the year. How do you get to be a loan officer of the year anyway? How is that possible? I mean, it takes a lot of drive, a lot of energy, a lot of action, a lot of things to get done, right? He hired Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs challenged him, go out there and interview 100 millionaires. It was very similar, I think, to what was going on with Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill went out there, he interviewed all those top business people, Dale Carnegie's and Henry Ford's, all these top people of the world back then. Very similar. So he went out there and got all this wisdom from all these top-notch people in their industry. He was in real estate. He was a real estate investor. He's a master mindset coach. This guy, he sees things that nobody else sees. That's one of the things that the voice told me when he says, when you got to hire somebody, you got to get somebody that's going to help you do this Rise as One movement, you better reach out to Gerardo because he's got a lot of connections, a lot of insight. He knows where the puck is going. He also had, like I said, a TV show, the radio show out in Chicago. He's coached hundreds of students. He actually healed my eyesight. You can tell I squint a little bit sometimes on these Facebook Lives, but 6 months ago, I couldn't even read the lettering. So it may not be 2020 still, but I can see now, and I can even, like, as you see when I do my Facebook Lives, I can still reach out to you guys. I can see who's logging on. Before I did wear glasses. So thank you, Gerardo, for healing my eyesight. And most importantly, he was the key leader in this Rise as One movement. And that's why when I reached out to him, he said, Joe, you have to write a book. This book is now your business card. People don't use business cards anymore. If you're using a business card today, you're missing out on the book. People want to see something of substance. So if you have questions when you read this book, reach out to me. I'll answer them for you. If you want to go through one of my meditations where I can guide you on a little bit of this journey, those who've never meditated before, I'll take you on a nice beginner's course. But it's absolutely powerful to get into a space of being still. And once he heard about that, and the reason why I put this into a block frame about Gerardo is he took the action. He never asked why. He took the action. So Gerardo, I'm so proud of you, man, from what you have accomplished, for guiding me on this journey. I hired you on multiple projects, which I'll speak about. You cannot do this game alone. You have to hire the right people at the right time and trust in that timing. We always wanted to be here yesterday. I would have loved to have this on Amazon when the book came out. After 90 days, we had the book launch back in June. So I flew out to Chicago after I met Gerardo, and I heard about his background and what he was into. I met him out there. We did digital marketing. And right now, this message, this Rise as One movement, hasn't even been marketed yet. It's been me doing Facebook Lives, me doing podcasts. That's it. We haven't even started the market. We just started doing some Instagram this week. What's it going to look like, and who are we going to have in our circle? And once we start moving forward with this and start marketing this to the people that need it and feel it in their heart and soul in this message where it resonates with them, those are the people that help. Oh, you want to go outside? Let me let her out. She's over here. She's going to cry until I let her out. Let her out. That's Emma. She always wants her way. Like the women, they always want that attention. You guys, right? Make sure you give your girls the attention. If I didn't give her the attention, she would have sat there and cried the whole time. There's another lesson for you right there. So I flew out to Chicago. I met Gerardo out there. He taught me about digital marketing, taught me about marketing, taught me about all these systems and processes and analytics and all this crazy stuff. I was like, what in the world are you talking about? But from that space, and this is going probably like 6-7 years ago this was. Then we went out to Arizona. Then I really learned about digital marketing through the program out there. I invested some money in that program. Didn't go exactly how we wanted to go. So not all the time you're going to have successes. Know that. Most of the time you're going to learn from your failures. Everything is going to be a success. People that go out there and they take these poses. I call them posers, posing on top of cars and stuff. Most of those times those cars are rented from the dealership for the weekend. Don't hang around with the posers. Operate and hang around with the people that are operating from their truth. From there we ended up going down to a... the Rise as One movement. That's when I reached out to him. Johnny Sunshine. I met Johnny Sunshine out there in digital. So Johnny, when you read this, man, and when you watch this, thank you so much, Johnny. He's one of those guys that operate from truth. Me and him are still friends to this day, and I think it's going on 7-8 years later from that digital marketing part of it. Then we went ahead and we went over to the when I had that conversation with Gerardo. So that's a little bit of our background where I met him 10 years into this journey. But then when I called him up and the voice told me in my meditation, call Gerardo for this Rise as One movement. He's got connections. He knows how to do radio. He knows how to TV. He knows how to do marketing. So I reached out to him. I'm going to share a recording with you guys in the Rise as One group of that conversation that I had with him. Almost, was that back in February? So it was a year ago. Gerardo reminded me yesterday. It was February 14th, a year ago, that we had the conversation talking about the Rise as One movement. June 8th, we had the book launch. 90 days, start to finish. The book was in my hands. And all these great people came out. And I'll share some of those names with you here in a second. They all came out to our house. Like 32 people came out. What's it going to look like when we start marketing this? We're going to have 320 people, 3,200 people, 3.2 million people. My vision is to have 350,000 people in Dallas, Texas Stadium in the spring of 2023. And a lot of those people that you saw on this journey along the paths of the world will be there. So we were at June 8th, we had the book launch. We had Gerardo flew in from Paris. Miguel came in from Oregon. Robert came in from Texas. Christian came up from Delaware. Rob came in from Iowa. This is off the top of my head, I'm reading this stuff. We had Dan Vitro. We had Roberto. We had Miguel Bernard and his wife came in from New York. We had Raul, Vivian, Alejandro, Abel came in from Connecticut. My cousin Don, cousin Sharon, cousin Jared, Phyllis, all came in from Connecticut, and a host of other people were there. And I know I'm missing some people. But the reality is, they saw the vision too. And that's why last night I was exhausted. I've been working on 6 hours sleep the last 2 days. Gerardo was telling me the book was launched. He's like, man, you don't sound excited. I said, dude, I am freaking exhausted. I've been working on so much stuff here the last 2 days. I said, I need to rest and think about this thing. So then I was doing my meditation this morning. They said, no, you got to sit down, Joe, and talk about this one and explain to understand what it takes in this 10-year journey to make all this possible. Here's Emma again coming back. Give her attention before she starts bobbing. Oh, you out there rolling in the snow? Huh? You guys can see we got some snow. Last night and yesterday's Facebook Live, we got about an inch still out there. It's melting right now down here in Virginia. It's kind of like Colorado, it melts. But that's where we're at that book launch. And the next day we all went out fishing. We had fun. We had 7 people in 2 boats. We caught 140 fish. So we like to work hard and we like to play hard. That's part of the secret sauce. Doing both. Not just going all in on one thing. You gotta spread yourself out. And why do I tell you all this stuff? Oh, my wife Kathy. I can't forget Kathy. She was a huge instrument when we had the book launch party. She got things ready. She was making all this, and she's the organization person in our family. I'm not that deep into the organization, but she gets into the nitty bitty. I's, T's are dotted. She said, "What about this? What about this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." But I'll just let the people show up. They'll figure it out. That's one of the things that I've been doing for a long time now. Is just like, we'll figure it out. Just get the people here. Most of us, if not a majority of us, know what to do. We just forget along this life. We forget along the way. You know what to do already. You just haven't been doing it. And that's when we start living out of integrity. And that's when we start getting those mind starts playing games with us that we're not enough, not being enough, because we're not living in integrity with ourselves. So then we flew out to California. We went out there. Oh, actually, the book launch. Gerardo says Jeffrey Combs is in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. So he calls up Jeffrey. Hey, Jeffrey, you're in town? Yup. I got some guys want to come see you. Yup. Me, Miguel, Jose, Gerardo got in our car. We drove to New Jersey that morning of the book launch. We got there. I hired Jeffrey on the spot. Then we went out to California. So thank you, Jeffrey. Put me up on stage that day talking about the Rise as One book. You heard it was launched. I met Jeffrey 10 years ago through Gerardo. So Gerardo is that connector. He is that creator. He is that contributor. And that's why in the Rise as One book, the new one you see on Amazon, it says right in the front, connect, create, contribute. That's what we all are, ultimately. That is my code, but it's also your code too. So we flew out to California, we did 3 events in 4 months. And during one of those events, Gerardo got the insight. Let's do the Rise as One book series where we can liberate people. Joe, as I read your book, it liberates me. Who else out there that has a story that they want to share that's going to help liberate other people? Because we all are one. I had this conversation this morning. A guy called me up on a business deal. I didn't even talk about business. I just spoke to him. God spoke through me to him. He's like, man, I need to hear this message today. I said, I know, because the voice is speaking to me to tell you what you need to hear, even though some of it's painful. So during that event, he came with that idea with the Rise as One book series. And we started going and talking to people about it. And book 2 is being written as we speak right now. Book 3 is already getting some of the stories sent in. So book 2 and 3 will be done here shortly. And there is, I think, 2 chapters left in book 3. If you want to get into the Rise as One book series, now's the time to get in before the price goes up. But these people's stories are so powerful. Wait until you read this story, their stories. There's 10 stories in each of those books. So there's 20 stories in those 2 books. When you read that story, something inside is going to click and go, man, I've been hiding from this for a long time. I didn't want to tell anybody. The guilt and shame is wearing me down. It's like a big anchor on my foot, dragging this anchor on. I can't operate at the level I can know that I can operate at. And that is the secret, is to letting go. Your story is no different. Wait till you tell your story. Somebody else is going to tell their story. Like, I'll take my story back. I'll take my pain back. I'll take all this stuff back because I don't want what they're going through. And that is the truth. And then we went down to Miami and met Kevin Harrington. After we pitched him in Chicago 4 weeks earlier, the Rise as One book series idea For those of you who haven't seen that video, go under my Facebook page and go down till September, October of 2019. You're going to see us pitching Kevin Harrington. We offered $10,000 for his not-for-profit. He said, nobody's ever done that before. They always want money from me. He said, no, Kevin, your value is in who you are as a person. The guy's got so much integrity. That's why I know I can do business with him. He's not your typical shark. He's a man of his word. Integrity. Truth. And then we went and met him in person in Miami, all through Gerardo. And we met the pitch guys all through Gerardo. He is that connector. I wouldn't have been there without him. So thank you, Gerardo. I'm going to challenge you to go even farther and higher above that. Because I know he has more in his tank. I know he's working on his own books right now. No one's going to think about what you did yesterday. What did you do today? You can celebrate all you want how good you were in high school, everybody. That was super in high school. What did you do recently? Celebrating all wins. There's the story changes too. There's a t-shirt I just saw the other day that says, the story gets better the older that I get. What did you do today to make your story count? For somebody else to be liberated. And that's why we're writing this book. Rise as One, the Spiritual Awakening. How did I get awakened to the space that I'm in today? And I know I got another 50 years to go. What's going to happen operating at this level for the next 50 years? How many people are going to be able to let go of all the things they've been hanging on to? That's why the book series is going to be so important. It's going to say book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5, book 100, book 1000. And you're going to be in there. I know it. When you start reading these other people's stories going, holy cow, they're talking about this? Joe, this is some real deep stuff, man. I say, yes. Because you know why? It's the truth. And the truth will set you free. It's already set me free. That's why I come here every day to serve you guys. Because I don't want to hold on to those stories that my mind was telling me for 38 years. You'll read about that in the book. I was able to let all that go and forgive. Forgive myself first and forgive others second. Only then can you go and set yourself free. So I tell you all that to tell you this. The Rise as One book, The Spiritual Awakening, is on Amazon. I'm going to celebrate. I got my bottle of champagne here. We're going to have this toast to celebrate that victory, celebrate those wins, and many of us don't like to celebrate. I'm here to tell you it's okay to celebrate. I love watching your posts on here about your family, your kids, and how they're doing all these great things. Because we don't do that enough. Because most people say, the ego inside of us says, well, I don't want to show off. And the reality is, you're not showing off. You're celebrating your wins, which gives other people the permission to celebrate their wins, as well as gives you more momentum to create more of that. That is life, living life. I was talking to Prabha last night through WhatsApp, celebrating with her on the phone, and she was like, Joe, I'm so proud of you. I said, I'm proud of God for letting me to be His voice. It's not me. And that's why I spoke to that guy on the phone this morning. I said, this is God speaking to you. Now, I'm not sure why He's telling you this, but all I know, He's giving you feedback. The guy had a heart attack. I said to him, I says, there's usually one of two things that happen when you have a heart attack. You're not living your purpose, or you didn't receive the love that you deserve. That is the reality. You'll get more into this as you read this book and start to understand and go through some of our meditations as a group. Because being on a live group, I can't stress enough, when you're live and in present, we're going to be putting events on here. Come to that live event. I promise you, you're going to receive the greatest gift you've ever received in your life. The gift of freedom and to let go. So Gerardo, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, center of my heart to yours. I'm going to challenge you. I want you to challenge me and push each other. Because we can't stop now. We can stop for this moment and just celebrate for 2 seconds. But there are so many people out there suffering. Back in December when God said, I need to end the suffering. Who am I to send the suffering? He says, no, not you. Rise as one group. All of you. Because you're all the same. There is no race. There is no color. There is no creed. There's one race. It's the human race. And that's how I grew up, helping my neighbor. That's what we need to get back to. You're not going to hear me speaking about politics and religion. I believe in being spiritual, religious, because even Jesus didn't like religion. So when you're guided by a higher calling, and if you don't believe in God and Jesus, you believe in the universe, something pulling forward. And when you don't listen to that voice, then a heart attack happens. Because you're not living that purpose. You have an assignment. That's not Joe's assignment. It's not your assignment. It's your assignment. You're in charge of your life. You're the author of your book. You're the one that can change your story. Because the story that they told you when you were a kid was bullshit. That's not your truth. Your truth has been inside of you, guiding you the whole time. You failed to listen to that voice. And I know it's inside of you. This message is speaking to you today. Reach out to me. I challenge you. I'll give you insights to help you break through. Read this book. It'll help you break through. Take every single word, like Mrs. Benzo said. Her birthday's coming up here shortly. She said, take the words. What is the author really trying to say? Analyze each individual word. Execute on each individual word. That's the reality of it. The story is your story. Because some of the things in this book will resonate with me. Some is going to resonate with you. Write that down. Because it may not make sense today, but eventually it's going to make sense. So I wrote down a couple key takeaways as I was writing these notes down this morning. I'm going to ask you to do the same. Write down some of these indicators that's going to make your mind shift, to liberate you. That's why the book series is coming out, book 2, book 3, The Rise of the Spiritual Awakening. This is my book. This is book 1. This was my story. What's your story, and how are you going to change that story? You're the director of your movie. Create a new movie while you're still here. I told the guy on the phone this morning, I says, I visualize going up to heaven, and there's a line of people going up to get a report card from the Creator, and it's going to say, how did you do? I can tell you one thing, I'm going to give it all I got, because I don't want to answer that question. I remember not being enough in high school when those guys were getting hundreds and I was getting an 80, and I felt less than. But the reality, that's just a scorecard. When you live your truth, you're operating at 100%. You are 100. You are enough. You are enough. I believe in you. Now it's time to take the action, the massive action, to make your dreams come true. Key takeaways. Hire a coach and a mentor. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars hiring mentors. Of course, maybe you can spend $1,000 or $500. Hire somebody. I have real estate coaching coming up. People are hiring me to be their coach. And I know they're going to be successful. Because I'm not going to coach somebody that doesn't qualify for my time. I actually had 2 coaching calls this week with people. They're like, man, thank you so much. They couldn't thank me enough to get out when they're getting off that phone. And if you're not ready right now, write down my contact information and DM me when you're ready. Because this is going to go down. You're going to see how fast this happens. Because I'm looking right into that lens at you. I see you. I see what's inside. I see the greatness inside of you. It only takes one person to believe in you. I believe in you. Second takeaway. Take action and take massive action. Let go of the fear. Let go of the doubt. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the shame. Because all those negative energies are hanging you back. Holding you back. It is that anchor that's holding you back. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Because if you're sharing your idea with somebody, they're going to start popping your balloon, taking the air out of your sails. You're not going to go anywhere. Your boat will sit there on the harbor. Get around people that are going to push you. Make you raise your level of vibration, your level of consciousness, bring awareness to what's going on in your world. Consistency, determination, your daily wins, celebrating those daily wins. Be patient while trusting in the timing. I would have loved to have all my stuff done 10 years ago. But the reality is it's happening now for a reason. There's a huge shift going on right now. You see a lot of people talk about meditation, going to these spiritual retreats. There's a huge shift going on right now. And just many of you know about this. Proximity is the ultimate power. Who you surround yourself with. If you hang around with 4 millionaires, you're going to be the 5th. You hang around with 4 happy people, you're going to be the 5th. You hang around with people that are celebrating wins daily, you're going to be the 5th. Or you can be the opposite, celebrating your failures, feelings of not being enough, living in behind TV sets and computer screens, listening to the negative news. CNN, constantly negative news. I stopped watching the news. I stopped watching the TV over 5 years ago. I watch my TV, sports, and some documentaries Kathy and I have been watching all week. Real life stories. They're going to assist us, to assist in you. Because I'm willing to do the work, and I'm willing to share my experience. And you're going to be doing the same, to liberate other people. Number 7, celebrate those wins. Keep going. Once you celebrate, your hands, and then keep on going, do it again. That's the secret sauce. Keep going. And the last one is the most important one. When it's all said and done, together we will rise as one. So thank you, Gerardo. Thank you for all of those out there that helped level me up. Push me to places I've never been before. And I got lots of names that I will recognize here going forward. Many times you guys heard these names out, but today I want to recognize my longtime friend and business partner, Gerardo Tafolo, for doing what most people won't. When he shares your story with you, you'll understand why he has a hardened shell. For him to still be here, there's a reason. And I know he's got my back. And I got my back. So whenever I call him, he picks up the phone. Whenever he calls me, I pick up the phone. We're not going to hide. Not all the time it's going to be fuzzy rainbows. Not all the time you're going to win. But I promise you, your greatest lessons will come for your failures. I can promise you the second thing, if you don't go out there and give it an attempt, you're not going to fail. You're not going to learn. And you're not going to move forward. But today we celebrate the launch of the Rise as One book on Amazon. Go out and get your copy today. Thank you for all your supporters. Thank you for the Rise as One group. Continuing to show up. We're closing on 900 members. And we haven't even launched yet. Wait until we start marketing this movement. Watch the people that are in the vision show up and give and serve their fellow man, their fellow woman, their fellow kids. Because we know what's at risk if we don't show up. As a chosen leader, if you don't show up, who's going to suffer? And I refuse, as I said many times in the past, I refuse to show up and play small when I know who's going to suffer if I have everything within my desire, within my requirement, with everything that was given to me in this life to assist you, your wife, and your kids, and your husband. Take their lives to the next step, the next dimension, and to the next level. So thank you all for following this journey. Thank you, Gerardo. I honor and appreciate you, brother. I'm telling you, we are just getting started. You better get yourself in shape. You better start eating better foods, because we're going to take this thing to a whole different dimension by the end of 2020. I love each and every one of you for watching these messages. Share this message out with people that need to hear this message. Like and comment this message. Go out and pick out your book, Rise as One, The Spiritual Awakening. If you have a question, reach out to me. I pick up my phone because I know who will pay the price. Every one of you keep showing up. They have not seen nothing yet.